Coming up, an attorney from the Native American Rights Fund tells us about students and their rights to wear traditional regalia at graduation. Plus, Sesame Street features Native American families. And are you tired of renting and ready to buy a house? We get some tips. I'm Aaliyah Chavez. Join us for those interviews plus headlines from the ICT Newscast.
This program is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people.
Arizona State University welcomes 3,500 indigenous students from Arizona and across the nation. It serves one of the largest populations of indigenous students among U.S. colleges and universities. We created a sense of place for tribal nations to create futures of their own making through community outreach and research, taught by world-class indigenous faculty where they see a reflection of themselves and their experiences. Find community at ASU.
Amadawa Hopa, thank you for joining us. We start today in Nevada, where land defenders have taken more actions to stop the destruction of their sacred site. Starting last Thursday, a small group of protesting elders put up a teepee and started a prayer circle near the county road leading to the site of the Lithia Mine at Thacker Pass. In late April, the same group already blocked construction for the day. The company Lithium Americas began development on its open pit Lithia Mine in March. They say the area's lithium is critical for creating batteries for electric vehicles. The group blocking the road posted videos to social media saying the area is sacred to them. Many have cited an 1865 massacre that killed 31 Paiute people there. In one video, an employee from Lithium America approached the group asking for the company's vehicles to get through. A moderator for the land defenders responded, saying they consulted with the indigenous elders and would not let anyone related to the mine pass. Similar actions have been taken during protests against the Dakota Access Pipeline in North Dakota, as well as protests against the 30-meter telescope at Mauna Kea on the Big Island of Hawaii. Many people know about the beautiful towering waterfalls at the Grand Canyon. It is the home of the Havasupai people and is the tribe's largest source of income. ICT's Paris Wise has this story about the people of the blue-green waters and efforts to restore their legacy.
My people were never allowed to come back here for many, many years.
This site is a popular campground along the trail for those hiking the Grand Canyon. For many years, it was called Indian Garden. Then, in 2022, the Grand Canyon National Park renamed the area Havasupai Gardens. Community members gathered here for a celebration of the renaming. This rededication honors the Havasupai who have called the area home for generations.
To have multiple generations here is very important to me because we need to pass on this work and responsibility to the next generation, and that they're willing and that they're committed to be here today and be patient and learn. That's what it takes to be a good person and a good leader and a good listener in the Havasupai way.
Many places across the United States are receiving name changes. It's been dubbed a historical reckoning. But we know change isn't always easy. It took years of lobbying from tribal leaders to get here. The Havasupai people were landless for a time due to forced removal. Ed Keeble, superintendent of the Grand Canyon National Park, said his team works with the 11 associated tribes of this area to mend these relationships.
That took some time to build some trust because of the history of how this land was established as a national park against the will of the people who've lived here from time immemorial. The effort to rename Havasupai Gardens was an important part of that trust-building exercise.
The next goal for the Havasupai is to work towards being involved in shaping how the Grand Canyon and its resources are managed. From Southern California, Paris Wise, ICT News.
Turning to the National Hockey League, an Indigenous player is taking the high road after a low blow from a TV announcer. Last week, ESPN SportsCenter anchor John Anderson made a crude comment when referring to Zach Whitecloud, a defenseman for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Anderson's comments came while narrating a score by Whitecloud. He compared the native hockey player's name to toilet paper. The next day, the longtime ESPN anchor apologized. Whitecloud, a citizen of the Sioux Valley Dakota Nation in Alberta, Canada, says he accepts the apology and hopes the incident can be a learning moment.
I wanted to make sure that he knew that, I accepted his apology, and I'm proud of my culture. I'm proud of where I come from, where I was raised, who I was raised by. I carry my grandfather's last name, and nothing makes me more proud than to be able to do that.
Whitecloud and the Golden Knights advanced Sunday in the Stanley Cup playoffs after defeating the Edmonton Oilers 5-3. Well, a new plane design is making history by bringing Alaska Native culture and art to the sky. Tlingit and Athabascan artist Crystal Whirl worked with Alaska Airlines to create the new artwork displayed on one of their Boeing 737s. The plane has even been given an official name from the Tlingit language that translates to salmon people. The masterful artwork depicts the ancestral importance of salmon within the art of the Northwest Coast. It is believed to be the first aircraft of any domestic airline to be named in an Alaska Native language that honors Alaska culture in this way. According to a statement by Whirl, her design will be significant in increasing education and building relationships about Indigenous languages. It entered service last week, making its first stop in Whirl's hometown of Juneau. And those are the headlines for the ICT Newscast. Earlier this month, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt vetoed a bill that would have allowed Native American graduates to wear traditional regalia at graduations. Other states like Colorado, Minnesota, and North Carolina also have similar bills proposed in their state legislatures. Joining us now is David Gover. He is an attorney with the Native American Rights Fund and has the latest policy and legal developments around this topic. Hi there, David.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Let's jump right in here. What is the Native American Rights Fund's view on Native Americans being able to wear regalia at graduations?
Sure. So, each year around this time, we get lots of requests for assistance from students and families, who come up to this issue where they're being denied the right to wear their traditional regalia or their eagle feathers or plumes and exercise their religious practices. And so it's an opportunity for us to educate and to hold school districts accountable, right? We know there are rights when it comes to religious activities, right? That's provided to us in the United States Constitution and the state constitutions. We have state laws that recognize these rights. And it's time for those rights to apply to our Native students and our Native families. So that's what NARF is doing these days mostly in the springtime when it comes up for graduation ceremonies.
Give us a rundown of some of the ongoing legislation efforts in the states of Colorado, Minnesota, and North Carolina.
Sure. So there's lots of states, I think 12, that already have state legislation or acts on the books. When we look at Alaska, for example, Arizona, California, Kansas, and Mississippi, and there's a few more. But we also just saw a lot of activity this legislative time where Colorado introduced legislation and passed it. We have bills pending in Oklahoma and Texas, as you mentioned, in Minnesota and North Carolina. So this is ongoing now, where we have lots of activity on this front. And I want to make an important point about that state legislation. Now, those acts are helpful. But they are not the end-all be-all, right? Those rights already exist, but this is a way for states to clarify and make sure that their school districts have these protections and make sure that those students can exercise their religious rights.
You mentioned Oklahoma. Based on your understanding, where does the legislation fall right now, given that the governor vetoed the bill last week?
Right. So we're looking at in Oklahoma, Senate Bill 429. And this is a bill that was passed in the Oklahoma Senate, 90 in favor and 1 opposing. It also received unanimous support in the State House chamber. So pretty much everybody, right? Everybody but one person approved this bill on the legislative side. Well, the governor noticed or made the statement, I think we all saw that, that we can't have this special law and we got to leave it to the school districts to protect those rights. And, that is simply wrong. And as a matter of fact, NARF, in teaming up with a law firm called Pipestem Law, is actually bringing a lawsuit specifically on that issue. You might recall last May in 2022, a student was denied their right to wear their eagle feather in Broken Arrow School District. And that student, Lene Black, is now pursuing a lawsuit to remedy that issue. It's ongoing. As I understand it, the Senate bill has not, or the veto has not been overridden. And so you'll see a lot of activity from the tribal leaders, and NARF stands with those tribal leaders and calls on the Oklahoma State Legislature to override that veto, and they should act swiftly.
I want to make sure that our viewers at home are taking something away from this interview. Given that it's graduation season right now, what are the rights of graduating Native students do they have if they show up to graduation dressed in their regalia and they're told they can't be dressed that way?
Well, the best thing to do is to get ahead of this issue, right? So, in the fall, in a perfect world, in the fall or early spring, you make a request to your school districts, know what their policies are. The school districts also have an obligation to notify the students of what their dress codes might be, and that should provide an opportunity for Native students to seek an accommodation if there is a prohibition on these practices. But at the end of the day, students do have the right. It is a constitutional requirement, both under state law and under the United States law. And they should be proactive in their efforts, educating the school district. And of course, if the school district continues to deny it, well, then you might have recourse afterwards. But we've seen situations where they've been denied and prevented and physically prevented those students from attending with, let's say, an eagle feather on their cap. Those are the worst case scenarios. And then it becomes, well, what can we do to hold those schools accountable? So, but to get ahead of it, be proactive and reach out. NARF has some resources on the website that can assist folks, and we've done letter campaigns on behalf of families and students. So those are a couple of ways to address the issue.
Well, David, we only have a short time left here, but while we have you here, it's been a while since we gave our viewers an update on the ICWA case before the U.S. Supreme Court. Give us an update on the status of that case and when we could possibly expect a decision.
Yeah, so you're mentioning the Brad Keene case, and that is currently pending in the Supreme Court. It's under review, and I'm not going to speculate and say I know what day it's going to happen, but usually by the end of the term, which is late June, maybe early July. But it could be issued any day now. So we're all anxiously awaiting that decision for sure.
Well, NARF attorney David Gover, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Two Native American families from Oklahoma are on Sesame Street. The Emmy Award-winning and Native-owned company Pursuit Films has produced a new Habits for Life initiative. It features healthy lifestyles and maintaining culture through language, art, music, and food. Joining us now virtually is Cherokee producer Jeremy Charles. Hi there, Jeremy.
Hi, how are you? Nice to be here today.
This is such an interesting project. How did the partnership with Sesame Street happen?
Yeah, we have worked in Indian country for going almost 9 years now, and we work all over the country, all over Turtle Island, representing different tribes and messaging for Native peoples. And I don't know how they found us, but they, I guess our work in this industry has resonated with them. So we were happy to collaborate with them.
Tell us about the families that are featured in these films.
Yeah, so as you know, Sesame Street is is at the forefront of diversity and representation in media and for children, and really reinforcing positive models for children. And we did an exhaustive search for we started off as just wanting one young Native person. And it went so well that we ended up doing two. And we have Rainan Yellowfish of Oklahoma City. He's an Oto young man, just fantastic, confident. I think he is 9 years old, and a great soccer player, a great young leader. He's going to do great things. And also Wastate Hammer, an Osage from, they live in Skytook. But she is also equally amazing, confident, very in touch with her culture. And really this was about incorporating their distinct Native cultures into a healthy way of living, and not only body and mind, but also cultural practices such as language learning and dancing. Both of them are dancers. Rainan is a straight dancer. He does several types of dancing and competitively at powwows. And Wastate is very active at her at ceremonies dancing as well. So we kind of incorporated those into their stories.
What I noticed in those clips that we just saw there is that there seems to be a range of age included in these clips. Tell us about, the intentionality behind that.
Absolutely. I think Sesame Street obviously has a very specific audience, and the important thing was that there were these children who were serving as role models for their younger siblings and younger community members and family members. Little Wastate's young brother, Watsamoy, he was a little firecracker. He was amazing to work with, but she, is a great, loving big sister, and teaches him a lot, teaches him how to speak, and they're both interested in science. And so they have a lot of activities they do there. And Rainan is a very athletic young man, and his younger brother, we spend a lot of time playing sports with them, and he's also a great artist. So it's really about showing role modeling from an older sibling to younger siblings and family members.
You are actually one of the co-founders of OCO TV, which is the award-winning series of the Cherokee Nation, and it's been on the air for nearly a decade. What are some of your favorite episodes from that work?
Oh, I got to tell you, it's been one of the greatest privileges to do this program. I almost always gravitate to our elders, and something that's very special to us is being able to highlight the lives of fluent speakers and culture keepers. So I've got lots of aunties in the Cherokee Nation who look out for me and have taken me under their wing over the years. That's the most special thing that's touched my life personally, I think, in all of our lives on the team, is having those connections with the community.
And that's perfect timing because yesterday was Mother's Day.
Yes, that's right. I owe a lot of women texts.
You and some other Oklahoma filmmakers have been working on some different kinds of projects, some of them actually reaching mainstream audiences, like the Sesame Street project. Do you think that this has changed some stereotypes on Native Americans?
Absolutely. Our mission when we started this company was to raise the, attention to underserved voices and Native voices in media. And in the last 9 years that we've been doing this, we've seen a great change, a big difference in, I think, the larger public realizes that Native stories are rich stories and interesting to people. And more people, not just natives, want to hear native stories. I think that's been proven now after a lot of resistance in Hollywood and in the media. I think finally we're getting to a point where, yes, everyone wants to hear these stories. Human stories are great, human stories, and native, indigenous representation is just a new place that people haven't heard stories before. So there's a lot of hunger for it, a lot of interest in it.
I have to ask, do you anticipate this collaboration with Sesame Street continuing into the future?
Yes, actually, we hit it off, and with that team, such an amazing team. Beth Botchon is the lead there. We're actually working on another one with Sesame Street right now, and also casting children and grandmother.
Love that. Well, founder of Pursuit Films, Jeremy Charles, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are you tired of renting and ready to take the first step towards home ownership? A Minnesota-based organization sponsors workshops to help Native people discover the path to owning a home. Mni Sota Fund Project Director Amber Ledger is here to tell us more. Welcome, Amber.
Bonjour. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Tell us about your organization and its projects.
Yes, so Mni Sota Fund is a Dakota word for where the water reflects the sky. And we are an urban native CDFI. So we offer a various programming, so homeownership, financial wellness. We also do business TA and then lending as well. So where I focus is the home buying and financial piece.
And you actually have a first-time home buyer class coming up next month. Tell us how our viewers can get involved with that.
Yes, so June is, I believe it's National Homeownership Month. So we are offering our class for free. We do an in-person 8-hour class. It meets national industry standards. We utilize the home stretch certification in curriculum. And so a first-time homebuyer can come to this class and ask questions. We have a lender, a realtor, an inspector, and typically a previous participant that has gone through our program speak, and then I facilitate the class in between with different activities. So if you're in Minnesota and you're available in the Twin Cities, we're here in Minneapolis, and we offer it Saturday, June 15th from 9 to 5.
With interest rates being as high as they are, do you think that right now is a good time to buy a home?
I would say if you feel that you are ready to purchase a home, then yes. Don't wait on what the market will do, because the market is unpredictable. So if you feel like you have everything in place and you're ready to purchase, but you're just not quite sure about the interest rates, I would suggest to move forward. And there are alternative programming options available that have lesser interest rates depending on your family's situation.
Amber, I'm really curious, can you maybe talk about the biggest obstacles for Native people who want to buy a home but just can't seem to get there? What do you see and what do you notice?
Yeah, so my experience is hearing people's stories of not knowing if they can sustain this home. We haven't been taught as Native people, because it's a Western concept to have to own a home in that. And so we don't have our parents or grandparents typically that have gone through the process to fall back on and ask those questions. So really, I feel like the biggest barrier is it sustainable? What if something happens? So setting up, all of the precautions beforehand so that they're able to be proactive instead of reactive, and really giving them that sense of security, I think, is important.
We heard early in our newscast that right now is graduation season, so we see a lot of high school graduates, college graduates. Do you think that it's too young to be thinking about financial management to potentially buy a house someday?
Never. I am such a strong believer in pouring into our youth, and I fall back on the being proactive instead of reactive, because if we can teach our youth financial skills that they can then translate into wanting to purchase a home, if that's their financial goal, then by all means be set up for success. And you don't necessarily have to own a home. You can want to have a business, or, just there's always financial goals other than home ownership. But if that's the one that you want to pursue, that allows you to have more options when you decide to.
Very quickly here, for our viewers who would like to learn more, where can they find more about your organization and, just general tips?
Yeah, please check us out on MniSotaFund.org or social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the great stuff.
Well, Mni Sota Fund Project Manager Amber Ledger, thank you so much.
Thank you, Miigwech.
And that's a slice of our Indigenous world. For all the latest, visit ictnews.org. From all of us in the newsroom, stay safe, my relatives.
This program is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people.